leaving. And then God, family, then business. And of course, our Y4C2Ts. All right, bucket fills. For those that are new as well, bucket fills is just that, saying thank you to somebody that maybe helped you out. Did an open house, opened a door, maybe you were out of town, they helped, kept your business flowing. It's your opportunity to thank them. All right, I'll go with you, Tanner, and then we'll keep going.
Got one for Anthony, who's not coming up here, but he comps for me when I really had zero time to do them for writing an offer, so it was really, really helpful.
I love that. Thank you. All right, who is next?
I have one for Jordan, who gets so many bucket fills.
He
We should
does.
probably do a bucket fill award. 'Cause he gets a lot of them.
I love that idea, actually.
Yeah, I had an open house. The agent canceled due to emergency, and like last minute, just a couple hours before, he was able to do that for me. So
Oh, that's
I want
awesome.
to thank him. This person isn't in the room, but he's part of leadership, and I want to make sure that I just threw it out there as well, because I was at the TOSA office on Saturday doing my women's gathering, and I always get there and I print all my stuff, and nothing was working. And I called Willis at the last hour, the last minute, and he actually walked me through, and I was able to get everything printed
Oh,
out.
I love that. Willis is the best.
But yeah, to call him on a Saturday, like, my event starts in 20 minutes, I don't know what to do. And he walked me through everything, so I was thankful for that. I had another one, but come back to me because I forgot.
All right. Yes, Eddie.
I got two. One is for Jay, because as I walk in here, I always have like my cup of soda and cup of coffee and like 40 things in my hand. And Jay always seems, if he's around, if he sees me coming in, he always
Opens the door.
I mean, it's
I
kind of
know.
like also, he has that office right next to the door, so it's kind of his responsibility, but I want to thank him. And then secondly, I do want to thank Tanika. A couple weeks ago, she did an open house for one of my listings, a Friday evening open house, and just very appreciative that there's people that just will help out when needed.
100%. And Jay almost thought about switching offices. And so
No.
that's a great reason that you
No.
don't, because everyone loves when you come open the door.
Yeah, you have to stay for that reason.
He was going to move closer to Jessica and James, but he decided to stay. So
I'm going to say Matt. I don't think he's here, but he's just been super helpful.
with the land team?
Yes.
Okay.
He's been super helpful. He helped with my first showings that I did. And then
Awesome.
he answers all my phone calls and text messages.
I love that.
So, him.
That's awesome. Anyone else? I saw a few more hands. Jolene, and then I'll come to you.
Is Mia online?
She should be. Yep, she should be watching online.
Big shout out to Mia and the front desk. Eric was down there too. After getting stuff back from marketing, they helped and pushed through my new business cards and new signs.
And they look
Make sure
amazing. The colors look so good. If you haven't seen them, check them out. Yeah.
They made sure to push them through, so I got them back, so I can put them up.
Yay! I love that. Taylor.
Thank you, Amber. She might be online, but she hosted an open house that I couldn't do this weekend, so that was really nice. And thank you, Dawn, for helping answer my question I had about writing that offer.
Dawn, you'll be forever Defender Dawn. I mean, it is what it is. Did you?
I forgot one.
Yeah.
Jolene as well.
Oh, jeez.
I came in, I think, last Tuesday thinking there was a meeting, but there wasn't. And she kind of talked to me about helping my buyers find a property and gave me an option and just, talk to me about that.
I love it. That's awesome. All right, guys, so we will keep moving along. So we have a lot of office updates. If you guys have not met Eric, he's over at Lee Country today training with Amber over there, but he's in his third week. We're super excited to have him. Obviously, with it comes sadness because then we're losing Shania. Her last day will be July 2nd. She's moving to California.
That's so sad.
I know. But she's in love, so she's following her fiance, and she's going to be with the Keller Williams there, so she's already accepted her offer, and we're super excited. So it worked out great. So we're super excited to welcome Eric. If you guys haven't had a chance to meet him, stop by the front desk anytime. Not today, but any other time because he's at Lee Country. And I sent out an email welcoming him with a little bit about his background. So we're excited. And we have lots of new faces today. So we're going to introduce you to all of them. We've got Abby, Mohammed, and Jessica. So welcome everyone on here. And then Eli, Giancarlo, and Tommy's here as well. So congratulations, we have two of them. Eli's up front. All right, compliance updates, Miss Lisa.
Yeah, this just real brief. An important thing that you might not realize when it comes to condition reports. If the date on the top portion of the condition report is not filled in, it can be considered incomplete by a buyer, and therefore a buyer may argue they have rescission rights. So, you know this happens all the time. Sellers forget to put a date in there. So when you see that as a listing agent, please go ahead and encourage your seller to put a date in there. I'm going to go ahead and not call that legal advice on how to fill out the report. Like, tell them to put a date on there. Wisconsin State Statute 709.02 provides that an owner shall furnish a complete report to the buyer within 10 days after acceptance, or the buyer has 2 business days to rescind it. So, I mean, we know a buyer's not rescinding it because, like, they don't like that there's no date on it. They're looking for a loophole because they've got cold feet, so don't give them that loophole. And that's all I have to say about that. Any questions? Yeah.
Is it possible for us to type right in the date, or do we really need the seller to do it?
It'd be best to have the seller do it because they're filling out the report. If you're on the phone with your seller, say, "Hey, you missed that. May I fill it in for you?" I'm gonna go ahead and call that okay. But if you're sitting in front of your seller, just have them do it. Make sense? Okay. And then just a reminder of the compliance line. By the way, that's the only thing that you should mark on that paper for a seller. Page 1, date, okay. Anything else, do not. Do not. And that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys, tech and marketing updates. I know there's been a lot of things coming down to websites and some things not working correctly. I reminded Homegrown Cappers this morning as well. So right before Mega Camp, obviously every year, they're going to launch out a ton of new features. We launched out KW Canva last year, the enterprise version. They launched out a bunch of new features. So you'll see some things getting clunky or kind of breaking a little bit between now and August when Mega Camp happens in San Antonio. It's just, they're about to beef it up and launch a whole new realm of features. So just wanted to put that out there to you guys. Updates to designs and applets in Command are huge. We were playing around with some of it yesterday with some agents. It's really cool, so make sure you guys are playing with it. If you need help, you can always let me know, Shania know, Eric know, or Kathleen. We're happy to help you. But there is increased security in Command. I know it can be kind of a pain where you have to go and get the code all the time and put it in. Just keep in mind that it is to keep the bots out. There's just so many issues where people try to replicate you in emails, replicate you out to your clients, especially for other reasons like earnest money. So just, I understand it's a pain to have to go grab the code, but at the end of the day, know it's there to protect you so that you're not hacked, because it's worse when you're hacked. Community Pulse magazine, so the new quarter one is out and available. It's really cool. If you guys haven't taken a chance to look at it, we have extras. And then Uniflow is coming, so we're super excited about this. For those of you who have printed before and it's a pain in the butt, or you go to another office and you're not set up in the printer, or you have a Chromebook and it doesn't work, our new system is going to allow all of these things. You don't have to be set up in the printer. You can walk into any office and print. So we're super excited about this. The soft launch is happening this Friday. So it's going to allow you to print to any machine, any device. So from your phone, you do not have to have your laptops with you. You do not have to have a computer with you. You can literally do it from anywhere to anything. Yes.
Any Wi-Fi?
Yes. I know. So it is, your security codes are going to change though. They are no longer going to be your social security number because we don't want to have those out there and use them for more features. So you will get a new code. I know that's a pain in the butt, speaking of codes. But again, this is all making your life easier. So concentrate on the positives in it and not the negatives that you're having to learn a new code. So we're going to share a little video to show you kind of what that is going to look like.
Every day in your office, people print all kinds of documents, including documents with sensitive information. When these are not picked up immediately, they can get mixed in with other prints in the receiving tray. So they are vulnerable to data breaches if read by someone else. Uniflow Online empowers everyone in your office to print securely. Once sent, print jobs are stored in the user's personal print queue. There, they remain safe and secure.
Until you put your code in.
Printer can identify itself.
Yep. So hopefully no more stacks of stuff we're recycling.
Users can choose their finishing options to get documents printed the way they want them. Only selected jobs are printed, which saves costs and minimizes the risk of data.
Now, if you have something that's not sensitive, you can send it to the printer and go pick it up, like if it's something, but if
You don't
it's...
have to do it that way.
No.
Okay.
All right, so y'all, that is worth a real applause.
So what steps do we have to take to get connected to that?
We're soft launching it Friday, so they'll be sending out your information to you as far as your codes. The machines will be coming in, we'll be doing all the things. So they're gonna be testing it out in different locations before each one gets it. But yeah, we're super excited for it. That's going to make a big difference. And the biggest thing is, again, just walking into any of the locations, if you need something quick that you are already connected and you don't have to try to get set up on the printer, you don't have to try to get somebody to help you, that kind of thing.
I was
So.
going to save so much gas.
100%. Battle of the Vibes. So voting for 24 hours. If you guys haven't seen Mary Beth and the Ratinos, they have their final videos up. So make sure you guys are voting. Y'all quit being spicy because our agents aren't in them anymore. Barbecue grill out party. We're bringing them back for the summer months. So we're super excited for it. And thank you to Jay that's always volunteering to do our grilling. We love it. So we'll be providing the meats this week, or this month we're doing burgers and wings. We have different things for each month. So we're going to do like brisket and ribs one month. We're going to do chicken and chicken wings. And it's all thanks to Focus Title, A+ Mortgage and Cream City that we're able to provide all the meats for you guys. So a huge thank you to all of them. But please make sure you guys sign up for a dish. So we have the QR code that went out in the emails, and everything is on the Facebook page as well. So sign up for a side to bring. Katie, you're on cookies if you're up here. Yes, cookies. We always want your cookies. Softball party, charity. So Alex, do you want to say anything additional where you guys are at with that?
Yeah, we have 2 full teams, but we can use, more players if you want to play, or helpers.
Some people need runners and they don't even realize it till they're playing, and then all of a sudden they're like, I can't run anymore. So if you want to come and run for someone.
And if you want to just come and watch, that's the best part. You know, just cheer us on, and I'm sure it's going to be a great day, like weather-wise. I already spoke to people.
You spoke to people to make the weather happen? I love it, Alex.
And, so our game sponsor is A+ Mortgage with John Warren. He's sponsoring the game, and then there's going to be, other things, prizes and stuff like that we're going to be giving away. So please come.
Well, I registered to play and I played in high school.
Yeah.
Yay.
So
That's awesome.
So.
They talk a lot of smack up in here, so just
we
pick
talk
the right team.
Oh,
Pick the right team.
Only rule is Katie is on my team.
She's very
The
good.
other rules that you are both not on my team.
Hey, whose team is Maureen on? Just out of
She was
curiosity.
on the other team.
She was on our team
She was on the
last
white
She's on the
team.
losing team.
You might want to make sure she's on the winning team this year. She ran for a lot of y'all.
Starts already.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
That's literally since the day
How
after
long
it
does
finished
that
last year.
run?
It was like 2 hours.
Yeah, the game is. So we have the field from 10:30 to 12:30.
Right.
We're gonna get there a little earlier to kind of pregame. Lynn is gonna be providing some things, maybe.
Yeah, they have concessions open as well.
Yeah, and then also Mari and Jay, her husband, they're going to be providing some other things that we're
Awesome.
sponsoring something.
That's awesome.
About the thing.
Yeah, so
can't tell you
guys, if you
that.
haven't been, the players chose walk-up songs. They get crazy and fun. So it's a good time. We're cheering on people as they're getting on the the mat. I don't
I
even
hear
know.
there's new announcers this year that
Oh,
are
yes.
great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not you by any chance. Like that wasn't obvious.
Also, they redid the field, so it's not like dirt where you're gonna get hurt. Like last year, I got a nice cut that I still have a scar from, but it's gonna be a
For
turf-
KW Cares.
It's a turf field.
Yes, and it is for our local KW Cares guys. So all the money that we raise, they'll do raffles and all sorts of fun stuff. It is all for a good cause, and it goes back to benefit the agents in this office. So KW Cares was exactly who was there for all of the agents that were affected by the floods that happened in the freeze recently, and it was because of KW Cares that we were able to give out over $12,000 to our local agents that needed help. So that's exactly what this is for, and it's a good time.
Yeah, and please invite your families, friends, whoever. There's going to be a lot of things that they can.
Yeah, if there's
donate
kids
or
at home and they're not at school that day or at a camp, bring them. It's a good time. The more the merrier.
autograph session will be
Ta-
right after the game.
Dana, I do have a question.
Yeah.
For the raffles, are we able to put together a raffle box, get it from somebody, or is that all provided?
Yeah, we can.
No, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys haven't had a chance to listen to the MREA podcast, the new psychology of content that attracts clients is so good. I highly recommend you listen to it. Guys, as a reminder, we'll have a slide for it too, but Jason Abrams is coming here in person to Milwaukee. He runs the MREA podcast. So I highly recommend that you guys are all in the room. It's a really big deal.
Hey everybody, you're here, you're in the lab with pen and pad, and I have my thinking glasses on because I'm getting older and I can't see anything. And the good news, I am almost there. This is the cover page. Now granted, it's the only page that's done, but I promise it all begins with that. Your Best Life powered by Your Best Business, brought to you by Jason Abrams. I'm excited. I've taken the best from the AI models, the best from the MREA, the best from all the science and studies that we have, and some new models that y'all haven't even seen yet, and I'm coming your way. Together, we are going to spend 3 hours delving into all things lead generation, all things Your Best Life, all things follow-up, and most importantly, all things you. Because here's the deal. In the end, all of us are building businesses for one reason, to help us live our best life. So is there a secret on how to live your best life? Gary Keller says yes. I know what it is. The only thing missing is you.
So every single person in this room should be in that room on June 23rd. I promise you don't want to miss it. It's definitely something that you want to be in, so you should be scanning and making sure you register. The ALC is already set up, ready to go. We're super excited for it. I will tell you this, there is a private lunch for guests that are coming in from other brokerages. And if any of you have a friend that is at another brokerage and maybe they're not so happy and they happen to be a producing agent, let me know, because I will cover their ticket for free and I will cover your ticket for free. Okay? So you don't have to pay $50. Bring a friend. Did anyone? I see a few phones up. Do you need me to go back?
I'm just looking at the address.
Okay. Yep, it's downtown at the Hilton Milwaukee. All right, so training call is happening tomorrow, the 3rd, 10 a.m. Make sure you guys are available. If you want to be on the luxury call, you don't have to already be qualified for luxury to get on those. You can actually listen to them without being in luxury yet. So you can still pick up little tidbits on that. And then the Lunch and Learn is happening next week on the 9th at 11 a.m. at the North Shore office. A Plus Mortgage is putting that on. Condos from A to Z. And then if you guys didn't see, this was already sent out an email as well, but KW Maps Coaching is putting on Stop Marketing Like Every Other Agent. And this is happening on the 11th from 2 p.m. and North Central's hosting it if you guys want to go to it. So you can register for free.
Can you just go back to that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm just not quick on the draw.
All right, deal defense. So these are the classes that are being taught. Make sure you guys plug into them. Inspection, contingency, compliance and command, vacant land offer, Q&A zip forms, and Authentisign, which would be a great one for a lot of you. And then where deals go sideways. And then Productivity Coaching has an amazing lineup as well for the month of June. So buyer presentations, language of real estate, listing presentations, a field trip. So all of you that want to be a part of that. And then special guests are coming in at the end of the month. For those of you doing the Passport to Success, remember this started May 1st, so make sure you're stopping by to get your stamps and your passport. For those of you that don't know what that is, this is for productivity coaching program that they're working on right now. And then save the date. Ignite is coming up July 13th, and it is being hosted here, not at one of the other offices. And it is the new material launching. There's a lot of new stuff being incorporated into it, so we want to make sure the Breakthrough 120 and all of that. So make sure you guys are coming to Ignite, get registered for it. We will have stuff sent out to you guys via link and QR code, but save the dates. We know how your calendars book up. Mega Camp, San Antonio, August 17th through the 20th. Huge lineup. If you haven't already seen, Simon is coming as the main speaker. We're super excited about this. So you can register, get the tickets while they're on sale. If you haven't been to Mega Camp, it is amazing. The breakout sessions, this is truly for top agents. They used to limit it. You had to be a minimum of a $4 million producer to attend. And they have certain rooms that you can go into now based on volume. So it's pretty cool to get into these rooms with the agents. But I highly encourage everyone to go. All right, how to win the deal panel. Come on up, Taylor, Jeff, Don, and Tanner.
Jeff's in the room? What?
Ooh, shots fired.
I mean, so weird. Should we sit nowhere? I love you.
Sure.
Are we going in
Nobody
order?
gets us confused.
Sit under your picture. You were just sitting under Jeff, to be fair.
All right, guys. So first, I will let you just quickly introduce each of yourselves for the new agents that don't know what amazing humans you are. We'll start with Tanner.
I'm Tanner Smith. I'm on Team Smith, primarily a buyer's agent, but I do list houses as well. Obviously, me being a little bit younger, a lot of my clients that I know in my sphere are first-time home buyers, so I've been doing this for a little bit over 3 years.
I'm Dawn Shibley. I run Level Up. I'm also a productivity coach, so I know a lot of you from that. I've been doing this 10 years, so time. Yeah.
I'm Jeff Nevin. I own the Team Wisconsin Premier Realty Group. Been doing this since 2016.
I'm Taylor Kulik, solo agent licensed for 9 years. Just hit my 4th year full time. Hey.
Always in a great mood.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, guys. So we were going to get started. So I want to talk a little bit about listing appointments. Tell me a little bit, how did you build rapport with the seller that you kind of work with?
Well, I work a lot more with buyers than I do with sellers. So typically for my experience, when I've worked with sellers, I also help them purchase a home. So the rapport has already been built during a different process, or my other listings that I've had have been like either friends or family members. So we're already pretty connected.
Okay. Jeff, what would you say?
I think for sellers, it's really trying to dive into their motivation a little bit more. The more that you really understand their motivation, kind of feels like you're actually hearing and listening to what their goals and their needs are, and that's typically when they start to warm up.
Yep, I would agree with what both of these people said. It is definitely that, and I think it's really showing that you're listening, you're caring. A lot of my business is repeat and referral as well, so it's kind of, we usually already have rapport built, and it's really about hearing what their goals are, and let's come up with a plan to get you to meet them.
Tanner, anything to add on that?
A lot like what Taylor said. I work with sellers that are normally also buying, so I have already built that rapport, but a lot of my business is referral based. And so if I'm just meeting them for the first time, just showing up and being super knowledgeable and going a little bit of an extra mile, to show them that you really do care. And then closing your mouth and just listening is big. I think a lot of people like to just keep talking, but they want to tell their whole story to you, so just listen and then, show that you care through that.
Have you ever guys, so that's great that you say that. So I had a coach one time tell me to write WAIT at the top of a paper, and the acronym stands for why am I talking, right? So it reminds you to always listen to the buyer, like they're saying, and listen to what concerns they have before trying to chime in. Dawn, tell me a little bit about with listing. When you're up against multiple clients and you know that you have other realtors that are up against you, what is something that goes through your mind when you're sitting down with them?
Authenticity, being yourself and being okay with the idea that if I'm not the right fit, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm going to give them the information. I'm going to listen to what they're looking for, but I'm not changing who I am as a human. And so I'm going to be myself, and if it's a good fit, it's a good fit. If
Okay.
it's not, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So.
Jeff, anything to add? What would you have to do on a creative level? Like, have you ever had to come up with something on the spot when you knew you were up against another agent?
I think it really comes down to, okay, so like the best is like prep. So if you guys aren't doing a pre-qual script before you go out on the listing, I highly recommend it. For example, Ashley did one for the first time, and she was like, "Why am I doing this?"
You kind of sounded like her.
So stupid.
But we're at the listing appointment, and the seller actually was like, "I'm so glad that you did that because the other agents that came into the office that came to the appointment didn't even do that." So it sounded like you're more prepped when you go there, and by doing that, you could always like discover what those objections are going to be even before you come out. So that's
I love that. No, that's great
probably the
advice.
best advice.
Taylor, Tanner, anything to add to that when you know you're up against another agent?
No.
Okay. Tanner? Have you been in a situation before where you knew you were up against another agent?
Yeah, and a lot of, like, you have to understand what their motivation is for selling. Like, are they just relocating way far away, or is this their last place and they're going to assisted living, whatever. They're going to be, you know, their main focus is going to be different. It's like security of sale, or just the highest price, or we want a nice family to move in, whatever. And then, you know, once you kind of figure that out, which is why a pre-qual script is a good idea, just to learn about what their motivation might be, and then once you get there, just really hammering on like why they really want to sell.
But did you hear what he said? One of the biggest things is painting that imagery, right? Connecting with the client, seeing what their reasoning is for moving. So is it their forever home? Is it to be closer to grandkids? Is it a specific park that reminds them of somebody in the family? Stopping to ask those things and learn about them truly helps you connect with people, and people sell people when you connect with them. So that's a huge help. Where do you get most of your listings from on average? Buyers for you?
Yeah, from buyers or my sphere.
And Jeff, you like to cold call?
Yeah, so it's mainly like expireds, probates, sphere, past clients, but yeah, a lot of calling.
But script and role playing helps for sure
Big
with
time. That's probably the biggest thing, even with sphere.
that. Yeah, 100%. I tell you guys all the time too, record yourself, like truthfully. Record yourself in a video and watch it, because your mannerisms in the video will actually affect your tonality that comes across on the phone. It makes a huge difference when you're not smiling. If you're a person that talks with your hands and you're trying to be super restricted while you're talking on the phone because you're nervous, that actually comes through on the phone. So yeah, practice in front of a mirror, practice in front of a recording. But yeah, go ahead. Tanner, do you have your hand up?
No.
Oh.
Just wish I would.
Okay. Dawn, where would you say you get most of your listings from?
Most of ours is repeat and referral. We do have a really strong agent referral network too. So a lot of them are people where it's not necessarily that I know somebody else that I help, that we have that connection, but sometimes it's, you know, they're moving to another state and an agent there connected them with me here.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Tanner.
sphere and referral, pretty much strictly for me.
Okay. Perfect. What listing presentation materials do you find most effective when you guys go to a listing appointment?
I like to do a pre-listing packet, so I give them all the material ahead of time, and I know other people, you know, do similar. So give that all like the day before, 2 days before you sit down with them, and then when I'm meeting with them,
So you email it over to them?
Ideally, I'll drop it off.
Okay.
So we'll have a booklet ready to go with the real estate condition report, lead-based paint, the things that they would fill out ahead of time.
That's huge.
And then if you show up and they've got that real estate condition report already filled out, you know, like they're ready to go, that you've got it. Also, I think I heard this first from Jay Schmidt years ago, but it was like the listing appointment's not about me, it's about the client. And so if I give them all the info about me ahead of time, they'll do their homework, they can Google, they can find out about me. And then I'm not going and talking about myself, I'm really able to go and talk about them. So
100%.
I bring, to my appointment, it's comps, the data, and a notebook to write down what they're saying.
I love that. All right, Tanner, what materials do you bring?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a pretty extensive listing presentation, kind of lays it all out for them, and we do a lot of pre-work for comps and data and things like that, because I mean, there's just a few different people that we've, listed their house where they were super concerned on what the price of the house was, going to be listed at, and I think that's that's a question that is at the top of their minds when you're going on a listing appointment. So you definitely need to have all that like nailed down before you go there, because you can't just be like, I don't know, like we could go here or here. Like they don't like to hear that. Give them a number, give them or at least a range, give them at least a tight range of numbers, and it might change depending on what you see within the house, because if you've never been there before, it might change your opinion a little bit. But again, they need to have like something that comes from your mouth that says, this is what I think it should be listed for, because they have all sorts of different ideas in their head. So yeah, there's a lot of good reasons for that. But
is there anything you guys would add from listing side before we move on to the buyer side?
I guess I would just say, like, ask more questions than speaking statements. Like, that is essential, to just shut up and listen. And bring a water bottle, because it's a lot of talking. Yeah,
It's so
seriously.
That's great advice.
I think just to kind of piggyback off you, Tanner, we definitely bring a lot of materials to the listing appointment. However, it's not really you have like your bullet points, right? You want to go over pricing, you want to go over marketing, things like that. But before we go out, we ask like, what's the most important thing that they want to talk about? Because if I go and I just start talking about the whole thing, I'm going to lose them, right?
Yes.
So I bring everything I need in case there's objections, but at the same time, I'm focusing on what they really want to talk about, and then prepare it that way.
Right, so the number one game and everything that you should have heard is to make them feel important. We say it all the time, Jeff Glover, it's a Gloverism, but make me feel important is a big thing that we always say is you want to make them feel like the star of the show, and you want to know everything about them when you walk out. It's really going to help you connect the most. All right, moving on with buyers, because obviously that has been a big situation right now across the market, is you guys are seeing a situation where you guys have multiple offers going in, and not every deal is winning. So let's start off with on the buyer side. Tell me how initially, when you connect with a buyer, what's kind of your first questions that you start off with?
like the first question when we meet them?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, are you pre-approved? Do you have somebody in mind of who you're going to get pre-approved with? And don't use Chase Bank, I have other people.
I love it. What do you do specifically to establish trust?
We do a buyer intake form, same as the seller intake form.
Okay.
We just kind of go through all those questions, find out about their goals. You know, are you renting now? Are you moving up? Kind of like just finding out their story and what their timeline is, what their goals are. Have they talked to a lender yet? Kind of gives us an idea of next steps that are correct for their situation. So
is there anything on the intake form that stands out that makes you learn who the buyer is better that you would recommend?
Yeah. So we talk, we ask questions about, what are schools important to you, like lifestyle kinds of things, like what are you looking for in your ideal home. We also ask the question of how does somebody win with you, how does somebody lose with you.
I love that.
Most people end up saying honesty is how you win, being dishonest is how you lose. I don't know, everybody's afraid of being lied to. But sometimes you learn tidbits from people that are actually like really insightful and just how to win with them. And if they're telling you how to win with them, I
listen.
know how to. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah. Real quick, it's actually really important to be super honest with your buyers, because for some reason the past year, everybody just thinks somebody's out to get them.
Yeah.
The seller, you,
Yes.
the listing agent.
Yes.
Everybody's like, oh, you're just trying
That's
to get
fair.
me. No. That's why giving them super honest upfront advice is the best, even if they don't agree with it.
Yep.
That actually will build a little bit more trust. If you're like, we have to be super aggressive on this, and this, and they'll be like, what? I'm not doing that. Oh, okay. Well, they still trust you more because you're giving them your honest feedback.
Yep.
But yeah, they really do think like everybody's out to get them. It's paranoia.
So once you have the trust of the buyer, what are some things that maybe each of you tell the buyer that they're gonna be up against in this offer, especially in this market right now?
I usually ask them, like, what do they know about the real estate market right now?
Okay.
So, I mean, sometimes like you'll hear half the time that I hear it's a crazy seller's market, things like that. But by asking it, you're kind of like planting that seed already that you're going to be in competition. So it's like when you get to the point where you write an offer, they already know that they have to write a competitive offer, like while you're doing it, right? So I think that's
if you're doing your job correctly and you're informing them, right? Yeah,
Set the
100%.
tone.
Set the tone. That's accurate for sure. How do you communicate your value though as a buyer? Why should they work with you and not anyone else? What is something that each of you say to them or show them as to why they should choose you?
I don't think for me there's anything I say. I just show them with my actions. If I say something, I'm gonna follow through with what I said because like trust is the number one thing. And I also ask them, you know, kind of in the beginning, like what are the top 3 qualities that you hope to have in your realtor? What's most important to you?
I love that. Jeff, do you have anything specific that you say to them? Or
I think it's more just you're a guide to help them buy their home. So when you start to show them, when they ask questions and you're showing properties, you're going to show your value while you do it. I really don't come across like competition on like I'm going to go with this buyer agent a year, you and interview for it. But I think you'll keep them while you're going through the process by educating them and guiding them through the process.
Nobody wants to be a realtor on a one-time deal and never get used again, right? Like you want to be a realtor that they want to keep coming back to every single time and use you over and over again. So you've got to build that long-term trust with them. Dawn, what would you add to that?
I would agree with what they both said. It's a lot of showing the client who you are, being communicative, following up, responsive, future pacing.
Yes.
And just that sets them into like a lot of people are really anxious about the idea of this is a huge purchase. Do I have the right person guiding me? And if you are showing them what the next step is, they're going to feel really comfortable with that.
Tanner, I'm going to pick on you just because you mentioned earlier that you have a younger group of first-time buyers. How do you explain the buyer agency agreement to them, especially for someone that doesn't understand the process? And do you feel like that has caused any obstacles for you?
No, it hasn't caused any obstacles for me. I would just say something that's overlooked is the fact that, I mean, lately too, especially, I would say, people will, they just, when you meet them to the time that you go to a showing is so fast that like buyer agency normally, like the full buyer agency normally happens when I'm writing an offer these days. So it's pretty overlooked, it's absurd like how quick it can happen because they're pre-approved, they've already done a lot of pre-work and then they heard your name from so-and-so and now they want to use you to buy a house. Well, on the first showing you go to, you're writing an offer. It's like, so that's how it happens sometimes, but if I do have the proper time and they're not just dragging me on a showing right away before a buyer meeting, just explaining it to them and literally I've gotten really good at reading it upside down because we're showing it to
across the table.
That's a good skill. They'll be impressed by that and they'll trust you.
Dawn, do you have anything to add on that as far as like the agreement goes or communicating it?
I always like to set a consult first ideally. Even if we're going to look at a house, I'll try and set something up. If it's a new listing, things are moving so fast, sometimes you're hopping out to a house right away. But ideally, I'm setting a consult first, and even if they're not ready to sign a buyer agency agreement yet, we run through it just so that it sets the tone that they know that any document they're signing, I'm going to explain to them.
Okay. Yeah. Lisa.
Please remember that if you do not have a buyer agency signed with a buyer and you're running to a showing first,
Pre-agency.
Yes.
I should have said that. We do sign pre-agency.
Keep a blank one on your person.
That's a great ad. Have any of you ever done a buyer agreement or met with a client on the first time on Google Meet or Zoom before meeting with them in person?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how that goes for you.
Don't do it very often. So the last time I did was probably about a year ago to date. But that was really cool. They actually just clicked on my Calendly link and they booked their own appointment, and I didn't even know like who they were at all. So that was really cool. I was like, is this real? Is this scam? Hopped on the Zoom call and they were there. So I was like, oh, whew, thank God. And I like to keep it super personal, kind of almost informal. Like, I am a professional, but I'm a human being first and foremost. Like, I understand what it's like to be in a buyer's position. I know it's awkward. So, like, hey, let's get awkward. Let's get that out of the way real quick so we can move beyond that. And something I actually did want to touch base on with like explaining the buyer's agency agreement, because usually for me too, it is pre-agency first and then bam, we're ready to write an offer. So you have to sign this agreement. And my explanation is pretty simple. This agreement states that I work for you in your best interest and I will negotiate on your behalf. Of course, commission comes into play as well, and my commission is 2.4%, which I'm always going to ask the seller to pay that, so you're not coming out of pocket. But the basis is, and I like to explain it this way, it's basically, please don't cheat on me and I won't cheat on you. Like, if you sign this agreement, you agree that I am your agent. Don't call another agent, because if they show you a property, they're the ones that's owed a commission at the end of the day. So I know when you go to work, you expect a paycheck, so do I. So I kind of put it really simple and get it.
I love that.
Like,
and you build trust that way because they see you for exactly what you are.
Exactly. So, then back to like the Zoom. So for that instance, I kind of like to just ask a lot of questions first. It's always questions before explanations. And then that will really help guide me what direction I want to take the conversation after that.
At what point in the conversation do you guys realize that you've earned the buyer's client as a client?
Oh, I think that's situational.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are some of the things that you guys have found yourself up against right now? Some of the creativeness that you've had to have to win an offer?
Oh, there's always. I think we've all mentioned like talking to buyers about some like what the market is like and what to expect. I use a lot of the lore report as we're talking about what we're seeing, what's winning. So future pacing buyers to let them know that right now 50% of offers that are winning have no home inspection. That's what we're up against. How are you feeling about that? Is that, you know, I'm never going to tell you to waive it. If you don't waive it, here's some other tools that we have to use, talking about the addendum AC and all of the tools in our toolbox there. So starting with what those tools are, introducing the idea that things are competitive, we're going to start with our best offer. Talking to the other agent to find out what's most important to their seller.
That's huge. We tell a lot of people that all the time. Pick up the phone and have a conversation with the other agent. Ask them specific questions. You know, if my client comes in at this price specifically, are they going to even stand a chance? Find out what they're looking for. But I think the key to what Dawn just said too was when she said that to the actual client, she said, how does that make you feel? Right? So she's validating their feelings, which is huge because that's going to help you connect. Tanya.
What is the lore?
When we talk about what's the
market,
real estate, so the market data, what's winning, when we share that info, that right now, you know, at any given point in time, about 25% of offers are cash offers. No, we share
team meeting. The team meeting, yep, and then we post it out. It's LORE. It's the lore reports.
Okay. Good question.
For sure. Yeah, and as you guys have questions, feel free to raise your hands and ask, because we want it to be like where if you have something that could help you, they're up here to answer your questions. For sure. That's awesome. Tanner, did you have anything to add on that? Like, what crazy things have you seen yourself up against recently to win an offer?
Yeah, I mean, also another thing too, answering that question, but, you know, asking what the seller's, you know, what's most important for the seller, that just, obviously they want the highest offer price. I'm like, no matter what they tell you, that's what they want. Because that's the first line on the offer. It's the best, you know, it's the best thing you can do is increase your offer price. Escalation clauses, really big. How many offers do they have in hand? And, you know, it takes a little while and a little experience to figure out, like, what that's really going to mean. Like, how long has it been on the market? Like, so many different things play into it for me that it's pretty hard to explain. Because, you know, when you walk into a house, like, how much does it wow you? Like, how much do you think it's going to wow everybody else? And now they have 4 offers and it's only been on the market 2 days. That's a lot different than, okay, we're going up against one offer, it's 6 days on market. You know, that couple of days makes a massive difference in what I will, you know, think is going to win.
But knowing that is huge too, because like you said, call the listing agent. Call them.
Yeah, don't just text, y'all. Pick up the phone and have a conversation with them.
Call them.
It actually amazes me how many people will not pick up the phone and have a conversation, and they're scared to pick up the phone and have a conversation.
Do it.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, how do you get them to say anything besides write the cleanest offer possible? Because that is the response all the time.
I start with, I know you're going to say.
Yes. Get that out of the way.
I have the best, clean, smooth.
But what else?
Anything else? Do they need
Right.
post occupancy after?
Yes.
Right.
Get
Yeah,
very
you gotta
specific,
ask
hyper
those
specific.
Think back to if you've had a listing already, like what type of offers you were getting and what was
Right.
attractive to your client. Come up with the reverse questions that you
Yep.
can turn around and ask the actual agent, like, hey, would this work? Would this work? You know, be very specific. The worst they can tell you is, again, they're going to keep answering
Yeah.
the same way, but
And some
maybe you'll get
will
an answer.
Still. So that's great.
I
By
was
the
going
way-
to say, asking too, one of the questions I find I get the most information is asking why are the sellers actually moved, like trying to figure that out, because then you'll find out like, oh, they're relocating, they'll give you a lot more info, they're relocating to Texas at the end of June,
Right.
you know, but they really need to be in the house until the end of June, so sometimes like personalizing it with the seller a
That's
little bit,
huge,
and
yeah.
you can use that to your advantage. I had an offer I'm actually waiting to hear back on. But it was like an elderly couple, and the listing agent was like, yeah, it's, you know, they're moving to be closer to family, but neither of them can drive anymore. They're worried about getting around town. So we included a $2,500 like rideshare gift card with our offer to purchase. So that works nationwide. And like, again, if you can personalize it to the seller, I'm not saying I'm going to get it, but I can tell you no one else wrote that into their offer.
She's like, don't go against me.
Yeah, so you know, you can find inventive ways if you find really what you're walking through and there's pictures of the sellers drinking wine in every picture. Throw in a wine package from a Napa winery for a year or something. Like you can do stuff to kind of try to separate yourself.
Yes. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It comes down to value.
Anything can be written into a contract.
Right? It's value, guys. It's why should you stand out more than anyone else? Why should they use you? That's what you should always be thinking about. Because if you can't answer that question yourself, why they should be using you, then you need to go back to the drawing board and come up with some actual line items of things that you know you offer. You all have something unique, but you need to figure out what it is that you're offering different than anybody else, what they get for working with you. That would be one of the things for sure. Anything else you guys want to add as far as buyers or sellers or what you're doing to creative to win a deal right now?
A couple things, because I want to touch on your question again. Because, okay, so listing agents, they're not going to tell you what's on their offer, but sometimes they give hints.
Yep.
So I'll even call them like, hey, if I wrote you an offer $3,000 over asking, no home inspection and appraisal buffer, how do we stand against the other 5?
Yeah.
They may not say anything. They may say, well, just write your highest and best, but most of the time, they're like, well, it's a pretty good offer. Or they're like, well, I mean, it's close, but not quite yet.
I don't think that's going to cut it.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, and I always hide behind the. I always hide behind the. Okay, I don't want to waste my time or my buyer's time. Is this competitive? And normally, like, if they like pause and they're like, just write your highest and best. Okay, like, you know, you can kind of get an idea of what they're trying to tell you when they give you an answer. No matter if it's like a no answer, like. Yeah. Humans give away.
Well, and that's why the phone calling piece is so important.
Yes,
because
you need to put them on the spot.
We all know if you're texting it, that means it's in writing, okay? So we're not going to do that, right? So you'll get way more information voice to voice, and you can gauge tone.
Yes.
Or if you have an opportunity, get face to face with them. Like if you're, happen to be in the same location with them somewhere, obviously their body language is going to tell you even more.
Yeah, like an open house.
Yeah.
Which
I think that's everything.
I've done that before. I put some people on the spot at the open house with other people walking around.
Yeah.
Because then they have to be really honest.
Sheila, you had a question?
Not as much a question, but we always talk to the listing agent, and when we're on the listing side too, if you have 5 offers or however many offers you have, sometimes when you hear the story of the buyer, too, like this buyer's, they had 5 offers that didn't get accepted and they really need one, and they're whatever, their dog is dying or something. But I think you kind of can get on the good side of the agent too, because even though the agent isn't the one making the decision, they do have a little bit of an influence. Like, this agent is really good, I know I can work good with this agent, and they're very communicative and all this stuff. You gotta always make sure that you're the one that's the most communicative out of all the agents.
100%.
And I think they kind of push for you, even if you're not the one chosen, but they get them on your side.
They try. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They do.
And the lender matters when you're writing for your buyers. Like when I submit an offer, I have my lender reach out to the listing agent just to give a extra oomph of like talking up the buyer in a way that I maybe cannot, or just to extra qualify them, or just show like, hey, this is my cell phone number. You can call me or text me on nights and weekends. I am not Educators Credit Union. You do not have to just do Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and wait for a response till the following weekday. That is critical as well. Your lender partners matter, and having them involved in the transaction matters as well. And that's another thing to set the tone with the buyers right away too, is that like me and your lender, like we're like this, we're your dream team. We're gonna get this done together for you. So yes, I'm going to be in constant communication with them throughout this process. So another like expectation to set in that manner
And reassurance
as well.
and trust was built.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jay?
I just wanted to add about letters to the seller, how they can work and not work. I just had last week, the week before, 2 of 6 offers wrote letters. One, the guy had just lost his mom 60 days before, and one of the buyers wrote a AI-generated letter that, excuse my French, pissed the guy off really bad. He said, my mother would not like that they did this. And another offer was heartfelt and written by buyers, 18,000 less, and these guys were even. And he went with the 18,000 less and said, my mom would like these people. She really would. But he said it 3 times already. He's talking today. That AI letter still rubs me the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So from the moment I stepped in the door and all these different, it can, but the other one worked. So one worked and one really
Well,
made me angry.
and I know Lisa's talked about it before with letters. Obviously, you guys can't give them advice as far as to what's being put in the letter, but you can give them guidelines to say, like, don't do these things, don't. As for AI, guys, if there's dashes in it, and it's like the #1 thing we talked about it this morning in Homegrown Cappers, remove them, help them. Yeah, Lisa.
And keep in mind with letters too, if they're not specifically referenced as an attachment in the offer, the listing agent doesn't have to present them. So I received 2 last night, and neither of them were incorporated into the offer. So I left, like, do you want to see them? No? Okay, then we're not going to even look at them.
Yeah, so then that's a great tool to remember. Yeah, Sheila.
I kind of thought that was how you're supposed to do it, like separate from the offer, because of kind of the questionable.
If they're attached to the offer, then they might end up in the hands of the lending and the underwriting and so forth too. But if they're not referenced as an attachment to the offer, they do not have to be presented.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of like inherently respectful though to like give them an option instead of being like, we're sticking this on our offer, read it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't feel comfortable like doing that. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, was this helpful for you guys to be able to hear some of the tools and tricks that they're doing to win offers? Is there anything you would leave them with? Last bit of advice?
What, does anybody have anything that they're struggling with or concerns?
Yeah, is there a deal that you're up against? Yeah, go ahead.
I know this is how to win the deal, but how are ways you've lost the deal before? Like, what are some traps or mistakes you've made that you suggest avoiding?
Not talking to the other agent.
Truthfully.
I think that's number one.
By not, like, you need,
Just submitting the offer and
Yeah,
not
if you
having
just-
a conversation.
And then you find out later that they were hoping for a certain closing date.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
You'll kick yourself in the butt.
Yes.
Yeah, not doing your homework. Be prepared. Get that information ahead of time.
Yeah. And I mean, I would also say too, like sometimes your buyer's just not going to be flexible on price and terms and things like that. Like it's, and so when that happens and, there's 4 other offers and your buyer won't go up in price or better with their terms, then once they lose that one, you have to kind of reconvene with them and tell them like, hey, maybe we should shop a little bit lower in price.
Yep.
Maybe we should shop for houses that are, newer because you don't want to have to do all these fixes and you're so worried about an inspection and this and that and the other thing. So then you have to cater like if you just keep banging your head against the wall and going to the same showings and submitting the same offers, it's probably not going to change. Definition of insanity, whatever. So you really need to keep like the whole time like reconsidering what you're doing, what houses you're looking at, because a lot of times people otherwise they'll just drag you all over the southeastern Wisconsin. And I did that like twice, and I was like, I am never just letting people just steamroll me like that again. Like that's horrible.
I guess that's good too. Like if you write an offer and you lose, ask for feedback from the listing agent.
Yes.
Like what is there any, what can you share with me about the loss of our offer, and that's really helpful to take that back to your buyer, especially one that's like, I don't want to do this or that. It's like, okay, I get you don't want to, but do you really want a house then? To say, hey, this is exactly what came from the sellers. This is why we didn't win.
Nick.
I have a question. Like when it comes to writing offers, are there any strategies you guys are using specifically terms-wise? Appraisal gap, inspection buffer.
Yep.
Tight appraisal gap.
Tight deadlines.
Tight deadlines.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there
Beef it
anything
up.
All of the above. Whatever they're comfortable with.
Yeah. The earnest money probably doesn't mean too much in the grand scheme of things, but you have to ask your buyers, like, could you sleep at night submitting this offer and realizing you didn't get it? Like, it's a good question to ask. And another thing too that gets overlooked is, because this has happened a few times in the past year to me, our team, whatever, but because it's such a competitive market, people are going way over asking price, and doing really good terms for the seller. People's buyer's remorse is really bad right now because of all that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, did I overpay? Da 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 da. So number one, escalation clauses for price. I think those are a great idea. That won me a deal just the other week. And two, like, make sure you kind of gut check your buyers before you send an offer in that's just crazy, right? Like, hey, I'm going all in on this for you guys. Like, you guys are still all in, right? Like, let's do this. And if they're like, I don't know, like it's so much over, like, okay, well, think about it, before I actually submit this, because the last thing you want is to go get a property and then 3 days later have somebody, and sometimes you can't control it, sometimes it just happens, but, make sure that they're all in the whole way through.
So when you're writing the offer or on the property, you basically, you'll know what it's going to take to win, right? If there's 15 offers or 2 offers. What I'll do is right before, we'll hop on the phone call right before we write it. I'll say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want this property? 9, 10, I really want it. I'll actually tell them, I'll say, hey, I'm going to tell you what a winning offer is. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. You don't have to do what I'm saying, but I'm going to tell you what's going to win it, and I'll list everything.
Yes.
Like, hey, 10% over asking, no home inspection, or inspection buffer, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, I say, okay, so what do we feel comfortable doing? But by doing that, you already planted that seed, like, okay, this is what it's going to take, and they usually don't deviate much from it.
Right.
I just had a buyer who won with FHA loan. The whole garage is peeling paint. They're fine with taking care of it themselves before closing.
Yes.
So we'll be out painting, but that would be a concern in a multiple offer situation, that the appraisal's going to come up with some stuff, and we talked through it, and they were like, we'll take care of it.
Yes, FHA, that's super important to have, if they're capable, have the buyer be willing to absorb, either physically doing things or hey, anything called out by the appraiser, they'll absorb the first $1,000 or something like that. That's super critical. I think if we're getting super detailed with inspection contingency, obviously a strong gap coverage is super important, but other things too, if there's a fireplace, that literally just happened to me, is hey, your inspection gap coverage was amazing, but you had a level 2 fireplace and chimney inspection in there. Well, my buyers were not willing to sacrifice that. So, yep, we were going to put it in the offer, but we raised up their gap coverage significantly to try to, compensate for that. Thank you. It still didn't work, but at least we know we were right there. We were pinky nail away. I think, too, trying to make the listing agent's life as easy as possible, and by the way I do that, I think, is make sure everything is one PDF, is just top of the list. Number 2, a summary of terms and deadlines. I write one and I attach it as a Word document or a PDF directly to the offer, and I also put that into the email as well. Hey, here's my buyer's offer for blah blah blah. Here are all the terms and deadlines, which I have also attached directly to the offer for you. So I think that is huge with winning as well.
Have you guys seen, we just had one Royce actually did, where the listing agent had a Google intake form and required him to fill it out to submit the offer, and he had to put in like the price, if there was a contingency, if there was a gap, like he had to fill out a full, but it created a spreadsheet for the listing agent. And so he sent it over to me, and he was kind of frustrated at first, but you know, my take on it, third party looking at it, I was like, it's kind of genius in a way. They're making you do the work for them. You're filling out the information, and they were very clean and communicative in what they were requiring.
And as a listing agent, double check the offer.
I was gonna say, don't just go by what.
Don't go by the spreadsheet.
I'm like, oh, 10,000 higher on the intake form than actually what's on the offer to purchase.
Exactly.
That one.
Well, and so I've had to do this before too. Is you know, sometimes in a very competitive scenario, you know, you go and see a house at 5, and then they say, oh, offers are due at 7:30. Well, you're not really going to be like it would be pretty tough because you're 30 minutes away from your house, and then you gotta type it all up and everything like that. But you know, once you get the terms of the offer and everything done, you can call the listing agent and tell them this is what we are going to write. So don't decide, because you know you want to get your foot in there, you know, before they actually sit down and
that's
whatever.
huge.
So you can do it verbally. Obviously it's their job though to make sure the offer matches what you're verbally giving. But
I think another important question to ask the listing agent as well is your seller willing to pay 2.4% co-broke? Because sometimes they're not, especially right now. And to know that right off the bat and to put that right into your offer is can make or break it sometimes. I just had that happen recently too. They were only willing to pay 2%. If I would have just blindly wrote seller to pay 2.4%, that's already a strike against my offer.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? All right. Huge thank you to all of you guys. Rock stars. Appreciate it. As we promised, we're going to try to change up how we present coming soons. So Team Smith Wisconsin has a couple upcoming listings. So we have all the information out there that should help all of you amazing agents that are online as well to be able to see. So the first one is in Wauwatosa, $449. Nikki has that one. And then North Prairie, $499. Mark and Sheila. So again, you can see the bedrooms, how many bathrooms, car garage. Is this helpful to be able to see it like this?
Yes.
All right. Next one up is Amy's. We have an upcoming listing, condo in Brown Deer, 3-bedroom, 1 full bath, 2 half baths, offered at $175. So again, it has their information. Amy's in the back. Anything you want to add on it?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's at Cherrywood. Condos in Brown Deer.
Awesome.
Aware of those. Yeah.
All right. Level Up, Lisa, Delafield condo in Kettle Ridge, upper 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, $325. Live later this week. So another upcoming listing. And we'll post these up. Carol Carlson, buyer need. She's looking at a single family home, 3-bed, 1-bath, max budget $320. Waukesha, Big Bend, Pewaukee, New Berlin, East Troy, or Wales. And then condo, max budget $300, preferably 3-bed or 2-bed and a den. Waukesha, Big Bend, Pewaukee, New Berlin, East Troy, and Wales. Okay, so if you guys have anybody in mind. Pinnacle Group, Shanice is also looking for a buyer need, duplex or single family, at least 2-bedroom, Oak Creek, West Allis, New Berlin, Wauwatosa. Budget is up to $300K, but would like to try to stay under that and will be used as a rental property. Cassidy, buyer need, single-story ranch home, Lake Country area preferred, open to Brookfield, up to 710, 4 beds, 3-bath preferred. Mother-in-law suite in the basement for their daughter, prefers a property with some separation from neighboring homes. 3-car garage preferred, 2.5-car garage may be considered, convenient access to a hospital and major highways, and would like to remain further west and away from Milwaukee. And then Amy also has some buyer needs, 3 of them, single family in Brookfield, Burley Elementary? Burleigh. All right, Burleigh. Elementary School District. I hear that. Minimum 5-bedroom up to 1.2, 3-bed condo in Jackson or Germantown up to 280. Hobby farm, 5 acres, minimum with barn, location to be within 20 minutes, up to 700. I would reach out to the land guys on that too to see that if they know anything specifically coming out too. Do you know who the land guys are, by the way?
Yeah, I reached out to Ed.
Okay, yeah, Matt or Ed, just to see if they have anything going on. Is there anybody that didn't make it in on the slides that has something real quick?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Tony told me to give his. I'll make sure they send them to you for next month. I actually have a listing going live in Waukesha next week. 3-bed, 2 full bath ranch with a 4th non-conforming bedroom in the basement.
And Eddie, real quick, will you say who you are and who you're with so for the people online?
Sorry. Eddie Martin with the Mind Right Realty Group. And that one is going to be going live at $359,900. And then Tony has a couple listings, one of them in New Berlin, 3-bed, 1.5 bath. And that one's going to be listed ranch. That one is going to be listed, I believe he has it here listed at $379,900. And then he has a Milwaukee property, 3-bed, 1 full bath, about 1,000 square feet for $270,000.
Awesome. Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Mike Weber with the Let's Go Realty Group. West Brookfield 2-story, coming soon on June 18th. 4-bed, 2.5 bath. A lot of nice updates. Wonderful backyard, walkable to a ton of different things, and an Irish pub themed basement.
Very cool.
Price?
Dawn.
$630, thank you.
Okay. Oh, Tanika, yeah.
When does like that email, when do I need to be looking for this email?
Shania.
So we can put those, because I missed.
They should do the Friday or the day before.
Friday or the day before? Okay. I just got to remember to look at my emails. I didn't necessarily have an upcoming yet. I'm going to say I have a potential off market. I just kind of want to get a gauge, so y'all let me know about a Franklin, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We're looking somewhere between 475, 500. Like, how many of you guys got buyers that might be interested?
In Franklin?
In Franklin?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Offer it in Franklin's
My
like a
potential.
rare
Just call me.
Royce just wrote in online. He's got a 3-bed, 1-bath updated South Milwaukee ranch, egress and basement with a room already built. Could be a 4-bed easily, $299 on market already. Yeah. Tanya.
Tanya with Connected Real Estate. It's in Green Bay, but it's a duplex, so it's a good investment property. It's 2-bed, 2-bath on one side, 2-bed, 1-bath on the other side. It goes live on Friday, and it's at $329.
Awesome.
And then, can we send things earlier than the email? Like, if I get a list together, is that okay? Or you want to get a response to the email?
Yeah, if you just send it to the front desk, we'll make sure to include it.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Or we could even create a Google form. Yeah, we could create a Google form for you guys. That way you just always have the link to be able to submit them through, and then that way we can just generate them over into a slideshow. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll post it out for you guys so that way you can save it and then enter them in. But I think it makes it a little bit easier than hearing all these numbers and properties. And then we get a lot of text messages. Who was that was talking in the third person? And I'm like, I have to think back who talked third. And so hopefully that helps. And sorry we ran over today. Yep, Taylor. And then Jolene, I'm coming to you.
Sorry I missed the list, but my Brookfield Ranch in Imperial Estates goes live on Thursday at $499. 3-bed, 2.5 bath, half-acre lot. The house is moving right. Lots of updates, but the basement's unfinished. Then I have a off-market condo in Waukesha.